Hello everyone, and welcome to Let's Play Avernum, Escape from the Pit. It's a CRPG by Spiderweb Software. We haven't really seen them on the channel before. I have enjoyed some of their later games, I guess. I played Abaddon, the Black Fortress, and Queen's Wish, the Conqueror on my own time. They were good games, flawed, but good. Particularly wasn't a fan of how stun-happy Abaddon got and the HP scaling in Queen's Wish, but this game came out before Abaddon 1. It's the second remake of a game called Exile from the 90s, I think. Also watching a friend's LP of the Geneforge 1 remake. But let's go ahead and start a new game. Welcome to Avernum. Avernum is a fantasy role-playing game. You'll control a band of wandering adventurers, meeting strange people, fighting monsters, and trying to survive. Select the sorts of characters you would like to play. If you aren't sure, just take the party that's already been created for you. When you're ready, press OK. So we have the Soldier. Soldiers received excellent military training on the surface, the best the Empire had to offer. They're very good with all sorts of weapons. +1 in strength, dexterity, endurance, +2 melee and pole weapons, +1 bows, and the sure hand trait. Berserkers. Berserkers are wild swordsmen from the remote areas of the Empire. Their wildness tends to get them dumped into Avernum. They're extremely hardy and their sword skill is unmatched. 2 strength, 1 endurance, 3 melee weapons with 1 thrown missiles, 1 cave lore, and the mighty blows trait. Priest, a priest of one of the faiths disapproved of by the Empire. They have excellent healing and protective skills, so they often end up having to use them in Avernum. 2 intelligence and 1 endurance, 1 thrown missiles, 2 priest spells, 1 arcane lore, and 1 first aid, and the healing focus trait. Sorcerers are practitioners of the wizardly arts. Their spells are powerful both on offense and defense. Alas, because of their dangerous research and eccentricities, they tend to be sent down to Avernum. 1 dexterity, 2 intelligence, 1 bow, 2 mage spells, 1 spellcraft, 1 arcane lore, and the elemental focus trait. Rogues are nimble, good with swords, and able to handle locks and traps. They also tend to walk off with things they don't own. Unsurprisingly, the Empire loves to send them to Avernum. 1 strength and 2 dexterity, 2 melee weapons, 1 bows, 2 tool use, and a backstab trait. Archers were either hunters or trained members of the Empire Army, highly skilled with missile weapons. In the Empire Army, a dishonorable discharge means exiled to Avernum. 2 dexterity, 1 endurance, 1 melee weapon, 2 bows, 1 sharpshooter, 1 cave lore, deadeye trait. Rebel. Some people dare to rebel against the Empire. They have to be good at everything if they want to survive, though they don't have the freedom to excel at one thing. A rebel tends to have some skill with weapons, traps, and lore. 1 strength, 1 dexterity, 1 endurance, 1 pole weapon, 1 thrown missile, 1 tool use, 1 first aid, 1 cave lore, and the mighty blows trait. Hedge wizards often live in the remote villages of the Empire where they help the locals with their magical skills. This sort of character is good at magery and has a good bit of training in priest spells and first aid. Dexterity, intelligence, endurance, mage spells, priest spells, spellcraft, arcane lore, and first aid, all +1 with the energy blessing trait. And shamans. Shamans are the priests of the Black Hills. A shaman isn't quite as good at spells as a priest, but makes up for it with weaponry and knowledge of healing. Shamans are hardy folk. Their wildness tends to make them run afoul of the Empire. 1 strength, 1 intelligence, 1 endurance, 1 pole weapon, 1 thrown missiles, 2 priest spells, 1 cave lore, and the healing focus trait. But if we want to look at our traits, we're going to have to hit custom. Oh, never mind. We don't get to see it before we get thrown in. Skilled Avernum players can make their own custom characters. Custom characters can train themselves immediately after you start the game. Oh, let's see. So it defaults us to Soldier, Rebel, Priest, Sorcerer. I'm going to go ahead and change you to a Rogue, and the Sorcerer... I'm going to change the Priest to a Hedge Wizard, and the Sorcerer to an Archer. Mycroft's going to be doing a lot of heavy lifting, but I think that should be fine. As far as magic, I mean. Because we have melee, range and someone to take the hand-me-downs. Although... Nah, this is good. That we can choose between different appearances here. There we go. Yeah, that's fine. We'll just keep the default names. I'm going to go on normal because I don't trust RPG balancing on non-normal difficulties. Oh, wait. The game starts out quite easy, but becomes a challenge as you get close to the end. Hard. For the more experienced player, foes do more damage. See, that's the problem. I don't like the number scaling. I feel like you should be thrown into the intro encounter and then told, like, have it be on the intended difficulty and then adjust it from there, but we'll just go normal. You are never going to see the sunlight again. You will never breathe fresh air, or be warm and dry, or feel safe. This is your punishment. For your crimes, you are to be thrown into a magical portal and banished to Avernum, never to return. Your crime? Nothing as serious as you might think. Not murder, arson, or assault. No, your crime was against the Empire, ruled by the cruel Emperor Hawthorne. You spoke out against an unjust law, or you angered some minor official, or you may have just been a misfit. The Empire controls the entire surface of the world. All 4 continents have completely submitted to its rule. Not fitting in is a crime in the Empire, so you're being exiled. You're being sent down to Avernum. Avernum is a series of caverns far below the surface of the world. It is a dark subterranean prison, a place where exiles like you spend the rest of their lives, far from the light. What is it like there? Nobody on the surface knows. All they know is that it is dark and deadly. It is spoken of only in whispers and only with fear. Some believe there is no air, warmth, or food, and death comes with merciful speed. Others believe there's enough sustenance to enable Avernites to endure a miserable, worm-like existence. Until, of course, the monsters get you. Alright, that is a good demon design. Almost looks like Ridley. A few believe that Avernum is a paradise, a hard land of freedom, where one can at least be out from under the Empire's iron rule. People mad enough to believe Avernum is paradise often end up there themselves. They don't really know what it's like. Nobody on the surface does. But soon you will. There is no appeal to the judge's decision. Early one morning, in a stone dome out on the wastes, you are dragged in chains to the shimmering portal. You breathe clean, fresh air one last time. Your shackles are removed. Then, they throw you in. Welcome to Avernum. These caverns are a tutorial to help you get started. First, you need to learn how to move around. Click a spot on the ground to move there. Slowly, your eyes adjust to the dim light. Get used to reading. These games are a lot of text. Happily, there is light. The ceiling of the cavern is covered with scattered patches of a fungus that grows with a faint green luminescence. But you are alone. It is cold, damp, and deathly still. All you hear are the echoes of dripping water in the shadows. The loneliness makes the feeling of claustrophobia more powerful. For a moment, you can sense the tons of stone above you, ready to at any moment crush you into nothingness. You concentrate and overcome with the growing terror. There must be someone down here. I'll just have to explore and find them. So we can move with the arrow keys, one tile at a time, if we need precision. Let's go ahead and take a look at our inventories. Looks like we start with leather armor and a crude dagger on everyone, as well as a healing potion. Looks like that's a shared inventory, much like Abaddon. The sound is a little loud, so I'm going to go ahead and put that to quiet. There we go. If we hit the question mark, we can see our character's sheet. Oh, wow. I didn't realize just how close the UIs of Avernum 1 and Abaddon 1 were going to be. So we can see our soldier starts with 3 strength. How muscular you are improves your chance to hit and damage with melee weapons, enables you to wear heavier armor without being encumbered. Having more of this skill is a great benefit to warriors. Dexterity, how fast you are on your feet, improves your chance to hit and damage with missile weapons, reduces your chance of being hit in combat, helps to act sooner in combat. Warriors and archers are aided by this skill. Everyone wants dexterity for the turn order. Intelligence. This is some old school, like, goofy fantasy art. Like, this might be, like, Dragon Magazine art. How good you are at thinking things out and solving problems. Improves this character's spell energy and helps to resist charming and other mental magic. And endurance measures how hardy you are. The more endurance you have, the more health you'll have, and the less poison and other such afflictions will affect you. Also helps you resist harmful magic. 40 hit points. If you go down, you're getting knocked out. Return to a friendly town to heal revive characters. Spell energy, 45, but we don't have any spells, so we can't access it. Let's see. 10 physical resist, 5 magic resist, or everything is in percents. Poison, 11 acid, 6 mental, 0 curse. 0 reputation. You have 2 skill trees and the traits list, which, oh boy. Yeah, fans of the Divinity Original Sins games will love the trait lists. So we start with Sure Hand, which is 5% hit chance. There's also traits that increase your base statistics. Deadeye increased missile attack hit chance. Must have 2 points in bow or thrown missiles. Mighty Blows, 3% melee damage. Sure Aim, 3% missile damage. Challenger, Taunt. Parry Mastery, 3% parry, which is a dodge. Riposte is a counter, I believe. Like, you parry and riposte in order, I believe. Ambidextrous, increase your chance to hit damage when wielding 2 weapons. This is a very freeform game as far as character builds compared to Abaddon. It's a lot closer to Geneforge in that sense. Using 2 blades at the same time is your true talent. Others are clumsy when dual wielding, not you. Dual blade mastery, increased chance to hit and damage with 2 weapons. So higher level of ambidextrous. Recovery, increased rate of shedding fatigue by 10%. Oh, this game has the fatigue mechanic. Healing focus, each level increases the effect of your healing spells. Blessing spells. Elemental damage. Each level increases the level of summoned creatures by 2. For summoning focus. Sword Mage, each level enables you to wear more armor and still be able to cast mage spells. 4 tiers of that. Strongback dramatically increases the amount of armor you can wear without being encumbered. Quick Learning, increased experience gained. That's a trap. Faster experience gain is always a trap. Great Wisdom, more XP gain. Fast Recovery, increase 5% the amount of health and spell energy you recover at the end of a fight. Sage Lore reduces by 3 the amount of arcane lore you need to learn new spells. Good Fortune, increase luck by 1. You don't have a visible luck statistic. Great Fortune, increase luck by 1. Nimble Fingers, increase tool use by 1. Oh, it might be a skill. Backstab, each level increases by 5% the damage your melee attacks do to any foe that is next to one of your allies. Good Health, increase maximum health by 5%. Robust Health, 4%. Perfect Health, 3%. So total, 12% extra health. Energy Blessing, Boon, and Unending Mana for, again, more MP. A fun joke about tying intelligence to magic use. You are also good at chess. Negotiator, increase value of items you sell by 10%. Combat skill tree, we have 2 points of melee weapons. Increase hit, damage done, and chance to hit by 1% per level, and make more battle disciplines available. Pull weapons, spikes, spears, spears, pikes, halberds, bows, thrown missiles. Hardiness acts like natural armor, so increases all resistances, including magic, poison, and acid. I wonder if that includes curse. Parry, 3% per level, chance to reduce damage. Okay, parry is reduced damage, not deflect damage. From a melee or missile attack. Cost, which is the counter. Above pull is Blade Master. Each level increases damage by 3% and chance to hit by 1%. Covers from fatigue more quickly. Quick action, move more quickly in combat, and makes fatigue from battle disciplines fade 5% faster. Fatigue is basically you spend down MP, you spend up fatigue. Dual wielding, reduces by 2% per level the damage penalty when dual wielding. Above bows, we have sharpshooter, damage by 4% and chance to hit by 1% with bows. Lethal blow when attacking with a melee or missile weapon gives a 3% chance per level of doing more damage. I think that's separate from standard criticals. Thrown missiles has gymnastics. Each level gives 2% chance of evading enemy attacks and 10% chance of starting combat rounds with a bonus action point, so you can move one extra square. Sniper gives remarkable speed with missile weapons, 5% chance of taking a bonus shot in a combat round, and 3% chance of inflicting a harmful effect on your target. I promise we're almost done. Oh, we can see the list of abilities. That's super cool, actually. But let's stick with the traits and skills. Mage spells. Each spell has a minimum mage spells skill needed to cast it, much like Gene Forge. Higher the level of the skill, the more spells you can cast, the more effective those spells will be. Same for priest spells. Tool use. I kind of like that first aid is derived from both priest spells and tool use. Tool use is used for pickpocketing or lock picking. There's no pickpocketing in this game, I think. Multiple characters can combine their knowledge, so you want to combine a high tool use score, disarming traps. Spellcraft increases effectiveness of all spells by 2% per level, mage or priest. Resistance, 3% per level resistance to all hostile magic effects, both damage and curses, which would also, I think, include mental, but I'm not 100% sure. Arcane lore, how familiar you are with magical lore, used to decode magical inscriptions and spells. The more of this in your group, the better. Also helps to resist mental effects. This is a game that has like a bunch of random skill checks, which is neat. And magical efficiency, ability to focus your mind, enables you to channel magic more effectively. Whenever you cast a spell, there's a chance you won't spend all the spell energy you normally would. First aid, at the end of combat, the skill will restore some of your health and spell energy. The more opponents killed during the battle, the greater the effect. The more of this present in your party, the better. So again, it's a pooled skill. Cave lore helps you calm hostile monsters, forage for treasure, and resist certain unpleasant magical effects. The more of this present in your party, the better the effects. And luck. Okay, it is a skill. This helps whenever something random happens around you, which is often. When your luck is high, everything will go better for your character. Let's see. I can't just look at the battle disciplines here. We've got some neat sounding spells. Let's see. If I hit discipline, there we go. We'll just focus on the ones we have for now. We have Well-Aimed Blow, a melee attack that seeks out a vulnerable point on your foe, doing extra damage. 3 turns to recover, so it's your basic, I'm going to hit you, but harder. Flawless Shot, a missile attack that does extra damage and knocks the opponent off balance, slowing its movement, and snared for 2 turns. And then only Mycroft has any spells. Let's see, you have just Well-Aimed Blow. Yeah, Well-Aimed Blow, but not Flawless Shot. Didn't I set you up as the archer? Weird. Oh well. And then you have mage spells. You have Bolt of Fire, 1 energy cost to do 11 to 23 fire damage. And Call of Beast, summon an ally for 10 turns for 6 energy. And under Priest you have Minor Heal. Curing cures 1 or more of the non-mental hostile effects like poison and acid. And Smite calls down wrath upon one of your foes, inflicting a magical blow. Probably not going to be using that a ton unless we're fighting fire elementals or whatever. Okay, so let's just save. Look at stats. Oh, you don't even start with a bow, duh. Let's see. You can see the Avernum map. The cross weapons mark your group's location. So we start here. There's a lot of notable locations here. It's a very open world adventure. We can edit the party, so we can change names, shift people around. We can do a solo run if we really want. I think there's an achievement for that. Journal, escape the arrival caves. You've arrived in Avernum alone and unprepared. Find your way out of these tunnels and see if you can find any friendly humans. No special items, no journal entries. These are conversations that we can record into our journal. Let's see. Settings. I want arrow keys to scroll terrain view. And yes, I want to auto-scroll terrain while walking. So you can hold tab, and you will see in the corners which direction is which. Much to your great relief, you finally find signs of human occupation. The gallery to the west is blocked by a wall. Rough stone blocks held together by a crumbling mortar. It looks like it's been here for years, abandoned and decaying, but it's something. Less reassuring is a pile of bones between you and the wall. They look like they came from a small humanoid, perhaps a goblin. They too have been here for a while. On the floor near them, someone discarded a crude cloak. Scraps of leathers, roughly stitched together. On the surface, you would have ignored the disgusting thing. Down here, with the cold sweeping into your bones, you decide you would be better off wearing. So, we can hit G, and we will see the ground. Cloaks give 2% armor for 2 pounds of encumbrance, but hey, it's something. Aldos is going to be taking a lot of blows. The cloak is crude and dirty, but it's warm. You suspect that everything in the underworld is going to be crude and dirty, so you'd better start getting used to it. On this side of the door, at last, you can hear people. You smell fresh smoke and hear the muttering of speech. You're too far away to make out what they're saying, but they are to the west. Keep moving west. If you want to switch back to faster movement of the previous Avernum games, you can change this in the settings window. Normally, there would not be this much animation to moving around. I'm going to keep it because it feels more natural. Let's see, no buttons to give us access to that. There are 3 people ahead, crouched around a dim, smoky fire of burning fungus. They're rolling dice, gambling over a handful of copper coins and leather garments they scavenged in these caves. Then their sharp ears detect you. They leap to their feet and spin to face you, drawing their blades. They are Nephilim, scrawny and hungry specimens, but dangerous nonetheless. Nephilim are a proud tribal race that once filled the wild plains of the surface. Then the Empire began to remove them, sending the few that surrendered into Avernum and killing the rest. This has left them with a vicious hatred of humanity. Even though you share a common enemy, they are still determined to take their revenge upon you. About to enter combat mode. Once battle has begun, click an enemy to attack. You'll also get tips about spells you can use. 3 scrawny Nephilim. We can't look at them like in later games. So I'm going to move you up here and end your turn. Here. You're going to stay toward the back. Stab, get the backstab damage. You have a wounded character, try a healing spell. No, thank you. I'm going to cast a bolt of fire on you. And then you're going to come up and stab and not kill, because you don't have as much strength. So you dropped something. End combat. The 3 Nephilim have fallen, 3 senseless deaths. You suspect that they were just sent down here through the same portal you were sent through. Usually, the Empire sends down the Nephilim through a different portal to a different part of these caves. But of course, Empire soldiers don't really care what undesirable goes where. Of course, it's also possible that the underworld is controlled by Nephilim, and you will soon be swarmed and enslaved, or worse. Combat. So we get another cloak. Some extra leather armor. It has a value, so I'm going to control-click that, and it's going to go into the junk bag, which we'll talk about later. I'm going to get 2 crude bows out of this. I'm going to give... Oh, it's not a shared inventory. Okay. Crude bow goes to you. And... who has the highest? Bow skill. You have 1, you have 1, you have 2. Okay. You'll just keep it yourself then. Cloak will go to you, because you're also going to be in the front a fair bit. I'm going to set your default to range damage. There we go. Eventually, everyone's going to want a bow, just to kind of chip away over time, but... Huge rat. These games don't track ammo, thankfully. I'd say thankfully. I don't know. I've never... I don't know what I just did. I think I hit an auto combat round or something. What I wanted to do was cast another bolt, but whatever. It's 2 damage. We have some first aid. We do not have any first aid in our default party. Anyway, junk bag. Items in the junk bag. Oh, I see. 1 energy was recovered. Well, there's going to be a button in shops, and we can click it and sell everything in the junk bag. We cannot take things out of the junk bag unless we are in town. I'm going to put this broken pot on the ground. I don't know why I took it. Yeah, 90 coins to start with. The cave to the north is divided by a deep pool of foul, stagnant water. There's a man standing on the other side of it, watching you, his sword drawn. Perhaps he can tell you how to get to safety. If there's anywhere safe down here. What's that? Lagrin. Okay, so ask, attack, type letter of character to... Okay, so that's kind of just a holdover from the old engine games. There's a pool of foul, stagnant water dividing this cavern in half. On the other side of the morass, a human is staring at you. He has a dented bronze broadsword and a heavy leather jerkin. The relief at seeing another human is not enough to keep you from noticing the coldness of his gaze, or how he seems to be sizing you up. He gives you a half-bow and smirks. I, Lagrin, welcome you to the underworld. And, from the looks of you, you're a warrior, not the weaklings and malcontents we've had coming through so far. You're an Avernite. He laughs, a grim and raspy sound. I would not say that. I don't think the Avernites are very fond of me right now. We're the only people here? No, there are a few others in the arrival caves. That's what the Avernites call these chambers, though they didn't control them as well as they should have. What do you mean? He points at something hanging around his neck. It's a key. These caves are where all the new human arrivals are supposed to end up. Then the Avernites, noble beings that they are, find you and bring you out and help you. Then I stole this key. I came down here and locked the gates behind me. Now you're all stuck down here with me and my helpers. What do you think you'll get from me? Just intelligence. Now, I know how many of you there are and how you're armed. Now my servants will be prepared. He gives you one more little bow and lets out a harsh laugh and turns to leave. I'll not answer to scum like you. He stops for a moment, then he nods. I expected that. You don't have the look of a weakling or a thug. I suspect you have something in common with the Avernites above. Too much. No, there is something I want from you. Prepare yourself, and I'll take it soon. He turns and walks quickly into the shadows. Someone discarded some javelins on the floor ahead. It's always satisfying to fling a few projectiles ahead before engaging in melee. When you attack, you'll use your default weapon. This can be a melee weapon like a sword or a missile weapon like a javelin or bow. Get the javelins and equip them. You can switch your default weapon by pressing the button in the lower left or by typing the S key. Also, don't forget you can skip a character's turn by clicking the character or pressing the spacebar. Terrified arrivals. Okay, javelins are thrown. They will do more damage, but they are tracked. Does anyone have thrown weapons? Not really. And unfortunately, they don't really have a value. But I will hold on to them, and I will probably invest in... I will possibly invest in thrown weapons on Mycroft, but they're already going to be kind of split between the mage and priest skills. Maybe Marion. Time will tell. Let's see. So this way is going to get us to those equipment boxes. But now I want to see what's up this way. Melee's going to be better. Can't see either of them to shoot. No, go back into combat. I hit F instead of space by accident. M-A-A. Step back, and it stops you. That's fine. You can only move one square if you start within an enemy's attack range. Or melee range. Which isn't going to be a problem in most scenarios. We've got some crystals up here. Flawed crystals can be sold in a store for extra cash. So we've got rocks, Avernum's most plentiful natural resource, and dry bones. I don't think I can put that in the throne slot now. There's another rough crystal up here. Flawed crystal. Rough crystals are a Geneforge specific thing. Save. And next time on Let's Play Avernum, Escape from the Pit, I guess we gotta hunt down this Lagron guy.